Hello everyone. In this episode, I bring you the topic the age of strategic autonomy. So let's begin now. For decades, global politics was built on alliances. Countries chose sides. Security came from belonging to a bloc. The Cold War world was simple in structure. Loyalty meant protection. But today, something quieter is happening. Nations are no longer fully trusting alliances the way they once did. Partnerships continue, cooperation continues, yet dependence is fading. This shift is called strategic autonomy. It does not mean isolation, it means preparation. Preparation for a world where partners may disagree, priorities may change, and crises may arrive without warning. The erosion of trust did not happen overnight. The Iraq War raised questions about intervention. Financial crisis reshaped economic confidence. Trade wars blurred the line between allies and competitors. The war in Ukraine exposed vulnerabilities in energy, supply chain, and defense readiness. Countries observed these movements carefully and many reached the same conclusion. Reliance carries risk. As a result, middle powers began changing their behavior. Instead of choosing sides permanently, they began building flexibility. India deepened relations with multiple blocs. Turkey balanced between security partnerships and independent defense policies. Saudi Arabia diversified diplomatic and economic relationships. Vietnam expanded cooperation while strengthening domestic resilience. The pattern is visible across regions, not rejection of alliances, but insulation from uncertainty. Supply chains became part of national security thinking. Semiconductors moved from industrial policy to strategic priority. Energy sources became geopolitical leverage. Technology ecosystems became sovereignty debates. The meaning of power itself began to evolve. Earlier, power meant military strength and alliance backing. Today, power increasingly means optionality, the ability to act without disruption when the global environment shifts. Strategic autonomy is fundamentally psychological. It reflects a change in how governments perceive risk, the assumptions that systems will remain stable as weaken. Planning now begins with uncertainty rather than stability. This is reshaping diplomacy. Coalitions are becoming issue based rather than permanent. Countries cooperate on climate but compete on technology. They partner on security but diverge on trade relationships. They partner on security but diverge on trade. Relationships are layered, flexible, and sometimes contradictory. The world is moving towards overlapping networks instead of rigid blocks. Technology is accelerating this transition. Control over data infrastructure, AI capabilities, satellite networks, and digital payment systems influence independence. Economic resilience is no longer separate from strategic positioning. Strategic autonomy, therefore, extends beyond defense. It includes finance, energy, technology, manufacturing, and information flows. Even traditional allies are preparing for scenarios where coordination may be slower or priorities may diverge. Contingency planning is becoming standard practice. This does not signal the end of cooperation. In many ways, cooperation is expanding, but its nature is changing. Countries are seeking partnerships that allow alignment without vulnerability, agreements that preserve room for maneuver, frameworks that support coordination without limiting sovereignty. The emerging world is defined less by loyalty and more by adaptability. In this environment, middle powers matter more than before. Their choice shapes supply chain, diplomatic coalitions, and technological ecosystems. They act as bridges, buffers, and sometimes swing actors. Strategic autonomy is not a destination, it is a posture of engagement combined with preparedness, participation without dependence, connectivity without surrendering control. The shift is subtle but profound because when many countries simultaneously pursue autonomy, the structure of global order changes. Stability becomes negotiated rather than assumed. Influence becomes disturbed. Becomes distributed rather than concentrated. The future may not be a world of clear camps. It may be a world of flexible alignments, temporary coalitions, and continuous recalibration. Countries are not abandoning cooperation, they are redesigning it. And the defining feature of this new era may be simple. Nations are no longer choosing sides, they are building options. Thank you for tuning in with us. We will get you more topics like this. Have a great day.